Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future.
We like to go and do road trips in, and we started this because it was like that awkward time because the friends were like, we don't actually know these people. Why are we on vacation with them? And I was like, hey, you want to play a game? Tell me the artist. And the guy who was like super quiet, he was like, Britney Spears. And like, boom, that's Beyonce. Like he knew everything. And I was like, this is a fun game. And they really fantastic friends. We always go on vacation with them now. But yeah, and that's the game we play. So I don't have to do that next. Like, see if I can stretch my library.
Yeah.
So how are we looking?
I think we're doing good.
Okay. Well, Jamie, Marcus, thank you so much for hosting us here today and giving us a tour of HICAM. Very excited about what you guys are building and love to dive in and like how is robotics and HICAM going to change Austin?
Wow. First of all, dude, thank you so much for being here as well. Yeah. Like it's, I really love what you guys represent and the conversations, that you bring to the forefront. Like I think it's really cool what you're doing here. So just introduce myself. Hey, I'm Marcus Metzger. I'm the founder and executive director of HICAM, which is an innovation facility in advanced manufacturing space. We're a 501c nonprofit, and our mission is to be the center of gravity for robotics and embodied AI in Central Texas. And so to that end, we have a big facility in East Austin over by 130, kind of by the Gigafactory area. Mm-hmm. And this is our first year, and we're launching programs and training people and making robot shit happen. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at and what we're trying to do here. So that's me. And
hi, Jamie Harkrider. I focus on strategic partnerships here at HICAM. I come by way of initially economic development, helping companies grow and expand in innovation ecosystems globally. Like to say I crossed over to the dark side some years back, working with startups in hardware and advanced manufacturing. And so I'm focused on helping companies grow and expand with us and really advance robotics here in Central Texas. And so we have several different pillars. One of those is workforce development. One of our initial programs is in partnership with ACC and Tesla, where we're training or upskilling and training some of their production floor workers. And so it's a really exciting project. And then we did just launch our individual membership and builder membership. So unlike traditional co-working spaces, we are a co-building space. So individuals and startups that are building hardware, we want them here at HICAM. We want them to grow and expand with us and then graduate onto major production lines.
Yeah, totally. In fact, that's actually one of the funnest things, like people coming in and building their robots here, which has started to happen a couple months ago. And like now we're getting more and more of those projects through. And I'm so excited to see what people build.
Yeah, I actually got introduced by HICAM through meeting one of your builders here.
Yeah.
So it's cool walking in your lab and actually seeing them working on the robot, building it out.
Yeah, totally. And they have a fun one.
Cool.
Like, and it's, it's got like arms now and, you see it go through these evolutions. And I'm so inspired by people that take the initiative to design and make like new things. Mm-hmm. I think of robotics as a design space, for a long time that just meant industrials. Right, that just meant like these big massive machines that people need to stay very far away from for health and safety reasons. And it's amazing to me the flourishing that's happening, that has happened and is happening right now, where it's like people are building fun little things that we recognize as robots, but have a lot more personality. And I also think it's really neat because the tools to manufacture have proliferated, so much. So now you have smaller and smaller groups, and down to the individual, like who's able to be effectively design and build their own like robots. And so, the fewer, the less structure you place around a design project, the less likely it is to get like trapped in a rut or in like a design lane. And so I think what that means and what we're seeing play out is like just this kind of flourishing of different types of ideas,
Yeah, I love that because have you seen Pollen Robotics and the Reachy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I got one on my desk right now. I'm waiting to build it.
Isn't that incredible?
Dude, totally.
Yeah. And what I love about that and what I think that he highlights here is that, I see some builders, they're like, Reachy is now talking to me using the antennas in Morse code. Or I'm using Reachy to do X, Y, and Z. It's like tracking me across the, what I'm doing here. And it feeds back like, get your butt up and like move around. But like the personality of the person and the, it isn't being embodied by a robot. It's like $500.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like, and we're seeing this in real time happening. And that's the cool thing about the Hugging Face thing, like the open source model. You can see the walls breaking down on taking embody like human expression or even ideas and like quickly putting it into a system that moves and tracks and closes the gap between the physical and the digital.
Yeah.
So no, I'm all over it. And that's what kind of we're here, like Newark and what we want to do. So very exciting.
Yeah. So I want to know like more about, Newark and like, first of all, like, do you have a thesis? Is there like an alpha or like, I don't know, like those are just fucking abstract things, but like what's the angle here? Or like, what are you trying to unearth that makes, your perspective a unique voice here?
You want to take a stab at it, Corey?
Yeah. Well, that's evolved over what we've been doing this for 2 years now.
Yep.
Yeah, that has evolved a little bit, but I think at least initially, it was sparked by just certain pain points that you were experiencing, just with robotics, but just the mere fact that there's not a narrative attached to it is kind of the nuts and bolts of it. So Joel and I have known each other for many years, and he approached me because I'm in the entertainment space. So it's like, all right, well, let's tell a story here and really get these things adapted, market wide, in America.
There's to blend into that. There is an epiphany moment I had in manufacturing integration of robotics. It's specifically autonomous when you have the robot making decisions on how to move through a space, right? And at first it was very, very difficult because people are not used to a robot just, if it's on a track, if it's on a line on the floor, people know the intent of the robot. But these robots were like moving around obstacles, they were moving around people. And we actually had to help design those robots. And one of the most powerful things that we did was name each one of the robots. And I know it sounds simple, but I thought about this for why did naming these robots help adoption and help people just work with them in general? Because they started actually asking for, I want that robot. I want Billy to come over and pick up my parts and drop them off. Like, this is so weird. Why? It was because we live in a human world. We are humans, and the things that we work and interact with, like a lot of people name their cars, right? A lot of people, will actually use language around the objects around them as they're either extensions of themselves or part of their ecosystem. So it's very important to do that. And that's something that we've seen people take a stab at because there's a market and they're trying to throw stuff in a wall and get it stuck, but we didn't see anybody sustainably look at try to get immersive robotics and that human robot interaction. There's a lot of study out there, but we were very excited because we know that there's a big wave, a lot of people wanting this to happen, but we wanted to be able to put people together, and having the integrator, myself, and then the entertainment side, Corey and Blake, it was a perfect synergy of people being aware of the human element and being aware of the technology and trying to bridge the gap. And what we're really talking about is talking about the digital and the physical.
Mhm.
The robot sits in the middle, and there's a lot of magic has to happen to make that go there. And there's a lot of inspiration of like, what happens if the human can step back from the digital even further? We become more human, which means that we become better at being what we are, because we've basically been sitting in the gap of the digital and the physical as people. And so I know it's a long-winded story, but we think immersive experiences in robotics is the first gateway, because that robot takes on IP as a character and adds value. And that's where we
And you
want
build
to
relationships around that. Like people build
Exactly.
relationships with those characters.
Absolutely. And it's no trickery. It's fully like, this is a robot, this is you. And it's about humans being more in touch with other humans and more in touch with themselves, because you have this thing that's separating the digital and like reconnecting the physical. Very philosophical, but we want to do it in entertainment, and we want to do it through immersive experiences. And I feel like you guys are kindred spirits.
Yeah. 100%. So a little bit about my background. Like I spent over 10 years in New York City, and I operated a digital fabrication studio with a specialty in creative technology, building large scale interactive sculptures and immersive experiences and lobbies of buildings and activations. Like that's really my space. I did a lot of DFM work for that. I mean, I ran the organization. I mean, I ran the company, but I'm 10,000 hours CNC operator. Like I'm, from the trenches of that. And like always I have gravitated towards experience design. And I actually think a lot of that experience informed what is HICAM in the first place and why to make the space like that. Like, like step one for approaching a project at this scale, right? So like just imagine this is like blue sky, right? You're like, hey, we're going to create an organization, and it, wants to achieve a set of objectives. It wants to create economic opportunities. It wants to train people. It wants to, become a focus point within the region for, like a lightning rod for robotics and smart engineers and, a certain like problem set with, under the, let's call it like the advanced manufacturing aegis, because that's where, robotics is very closely tied to that. And so, with that like blue sky, those experiences of like experience design being like a primary consideration. So taking like knowing that's why when you come in this building, the first thing you see is like an insane lobby and an event center and a place to connect with people. Right. Because like, I think probably something like you guys do, like that's where the real experience, like you want connecting with people.
Yes.
Okay. That's where connecting with people happens. Okay. Connecting with people, that's the root of all things getting done.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Our official elevator pitch thing is we're a robot talent agency. How do we take the technology and the people and most importantly the production teams? And that's something cool about what you and Jamie were talking about today is you actually got a studio to come in here, and somebody who like deeply looks at human emotion and intelligence and experience. I think architecture does it at a degree for sure, but through one lens. And so that was really cool hearing your approach to building.
Yeah, dude. First of all, we tagged in Steve Joyner. Did you ever see the movie Alita: Battle Angel?
It is on my list. It's actually on the top 3.
Either of you guys, you've seen Alita: Battle Angel? Okay, so like that is one of the best, in my opinion, flavor-wise, one of the best sci-fi films. It gives the flavor of like future rundown Mexico, like robot Mexico City is like and it's in the world building of that place, like it's almost like the slums, but it's like the slummy future Like it's just steeped in this robotics. Okay, well, guess what? That's called Iron City.
Mhm.
That's a real place that Steve Joyner built like 5 miles away from here. Like the set still lives. It's an outdoor set. They built a miniature city. And he like literally top to bottom designed the feeling of that entire environment. He production designed it, right? And that's down to like the character models and like all of that. And that's like, I would call that like seminal, like you see Alita and the character designs and some of those designs on so many inspiration boards and so many like reference. It's like a seminal reference.
Yes.
For the space. And so when we brought in Steve and his team, the like starting prompt for the conversation is what would the place. Okay, so think of the USS Enterprise, like that got built by a factory. Okay, what did the school that the people went to learn how to build starships? What did that school look like? That was the starting prompt for everything that you see here.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's so important to have that back narrative. That's actually one of the first conversations that Corey and I had in this space was I think the writer's strike had just happened. And it was primarily around fear of AI and some economic uncertainty. And so like that dug into another conversation of like, how does new technology actually empower creatives to do more? And that's one thing. I look around here and you have additive and subtractive and art and engineering all blended together. And on the storytelling is, AI is actually like taken narratives, taken stories, and now you can spit out a story. But it's also a new medium to create like full characters. And our our conversation went into like you create the most compelling historical figure. We kept on going to Napoleon because I don't know why, weird character, right, in history. But like you have this, like you bring the historian in, and we talked about Luis Cintas too. But you build this huge character, but now your creative can actually query it. Like, oh, you're Napoleon. All right, I'm building a movie over it, or I'm gonna have all these things happen. Maybe I have a robot actually play Napoleon, but you can actually have this open dialogue to this physical thing in your space. And so I really love, and like we really love the immersion of where art and engineering and sci-fi all interact.
STEAM, baby.
Absolutely.
I think we need to build more STEAM schools. Fuck STEM.
No,
sure.
I mean,
For sure.
I apologize. I couldn't hear a single thing you were saying while they were welding out there. But yeah, just walking out in your shop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mill space on a studio lot is what you got going on here. So, I thought that was just a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And Blake, we haven't heard from you yet. What are your thoughts touring HICAM?
I really like the kind of like implied agility of a space like this, of being able to hop between all these different types of environments to basically get in the right space to tackle whatever it is that you're trying to do. If that makes sense. So like,
Totally.
yeah, I don't know, just it seems to bring a lot of collaboration together, which I'm very interested in. And even kind of like what we were talking about earlier of the like adding characters to robots. Like one thing that I'm really interested in right now is how can we like apply personalities to AI assistants to like optimally engage with, because everybody has their own personalities. How do we create characters that really mesh well and not just bring more like productivity, but actually bring about new ideas?
Absolutely. And inspiration.
Yeah.
And
Something that so Jamie mentioned that, we're launching this member thing and like, why are we doing that? We're doing that because we want more people to come into the space and, add their special sauce to it. It's like, we get to have these great meetings with, you guys and other folks. We want that to be more accessible to more people. Right?
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I'm just really looking forward to coming out of that is like more projects that like basically like I want to see more people facilitated building like like little projects, little storytelling things. And in fact, when I think about like you guys and where you're kind of positioned and maybe how we can loop in some like interaction surface, right, with HICAM, it's like okay, cool. Do you guys want to come give like some talks or some like presentation, or like think about when we start having new cohorts in here, right? Like, like I want to create micro experiences for them so that they can get exposed to some of these, so that this can like the concepts that we're talking about here, so this can spur conversation for them.
Absolutely.
And so, is that like a workshop, or is that a like, we're talking about community workshops, right? So we're doing this right now. We're doing like, agentic, like Hermes ones, and
Yes.
we're doing like, prompt lab, like bring your problems, let's prompt it out together, stuff like that. So, so I want to create something where there's an offering for groups that are either thinking about or starting or like building their robotic startup or their idea that they're cultivating, or like whatever that is. Yep. But then we have like some kind of regularly scheduled thing that touches on the topics that are really important that we're talking about here.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, innovation does not happen in isolation.
Right.
So I love that you're going straight in the other direction. Yeah. It's very important. And if someone who I spend half my life having phone calls with some of the top like robotics labs, and everywhere from the engineer who comes on to my site to figure things out, all the way up to the CEOs. And it's incredible, like when you go and you talk with these people, how the light bulb can just come on, and all those things you've struggled with trying to figure out, you get the inspiration, like, oh, let's put this together and this together. So I love that concept. It's super, super important, especially when it comes to like these things that are, I mean, we've struggled kind of telling you where we think the technology is going, immersive experience with robotics. And like, what does that mean? The robot talent agency. So it is definitely something to have conversations about and inspire people to kind of dig deep in those technologies. And absolutely, love to work with you.
Jamie, what are you seeing? The big boys, so to speak. I mean, we're talking here about the little guy and dreamers and innovators, and what are you seeing the capital markets and things? Or
Well, we are having some of our conversations with potential corporate partners, capital partners. I think one of the things that they're most excited about is seeing a collaborative space, collaborative neutral space, that is, where they can come and they can demonstrate, they can test, they can work alongside their vendors to showcase some of what they're working on, and do that in a community space. We're seeing a lot of excitement on the workforce development side. As I mentioned initially, we do have a program with ACC and Tesla. We're talking to other major corporates that are really interested in that aspect as well. A big issue across, the U.S. and across Central Texas is the talent pipeline. So that's something we're also addressing directly here at HICAM, is training and upskilling those workers of tomorrow, because we see space economy, advanced manufacturing, everything around here that's growing. So we have a great and critical, mandate here to help, advance the cluster here and advance everything we're building from talent pipeline. So we are talking to companies about even folks that are in high school, and then those that are on their production floors today.
Pretty amazing.
Wonderful. Yeah, the high school. I mean, that's that untapped talent pool that's there, opposed to them going off and doing their own thing. Yeah, pull them on in.
Yeah, I had one of our high school interns. I think this must have been 8 years ago in my startups. I would just bring high school students and give them the very simple things like get this to work and get this to work. But it's incredible when you give a high school student an experience, like put this, this novel material no one's ever tested before and integrate in this little like contraption. and they can go and talk intelligently the next step. And so one of the people that I've worked with, and now a project manager at Apptronic, and he said all the way down to the experience of he was able to get on that one extra intelligent, that step, because he had that opportunity. And it's not, these people are, I mean, we have such talent in the United States, and they just need the ability to practice, to play, and to engage. And so I laud that. I mean, I've seen it myself, and I think it's incredible.
Yeah. I think it's so cool. I agree with you. Like, my sentiment is that young people are getting better at teaching themselves how to do things.
100%.
Like the concepts, previously was like you would go to YouTube and, you could learn anything from YouTube. Now it's like you can learn anything from chat and YouTube.
Yes.
It's so cool to see, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, like, owning stuff and saying like, hey, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to figure it out.
Yep.
And then coming back and being like, hey, I found out a new way to fail.
Absolutely.
But then I did this and now it works. Like, it's A+.
Yep.
And you talk about like this country having that. We actually really do. Like, it's like, I have always enjoyed the builder mindset that is like very prevalent in the US. And that's one of the things that called me to New York, for example. It's like where that is an environment that's like really replete with just like density of people trying new things. And that's something that I'm now seeing in Austin that reminds me of experiences that I had in New York in the creative technology scene in like the early, teens, late aughts and early teens. There was creative technology in New York. Now Austin is becoming like just this like bubbling thing. So it's really cool.
And I've always struggled, I'm a big human guy. I love humans. Humans are so cool. And I've always been struggling, like, what do I see about America that I really like? And for a long time, it was like, oh, because I'm American. I just want like my own people. But it was really like through like knowing people from all around the world and seeing the strengths and weaknesses of different cultures. The one thing that I always come back to on the American side is we're just a bunch of dreamers. Mm-hmm. And we have a like patent office that supports that. We have capital allocators that support that. And we have the risk reward ratio that kind of supports being a big dreamer. And you can actually fail. And that's what's important for dreaming. Like in other countries, you don't get that chance to fail. Here you can. And so that's very inspirational for us in general. And I love it. That's where I'm like, that's where America really, I think, has its like really magical part. I mean, there's some amazing other stuff, but that's where I can like culminate in dreaming and being able to have that. Because there's just something magic about that.
Dude, totally.
No.
Oh, Luis touched on some of that, or you guys did, talking about China.
Mm-hmm.
How that certainly is just the inverse in so many ways.
Yes.
But yeah, but that goes back to your point of just making us more human.
Mm-hmm.
So
along which axes do you feel that China or people from China are in the inverse?
Well, at least what you're talking, just the option to fail.
Yes.
There, failure is no option. Or,
there's like
chained to
the
your
culturally prized thing there for like not failing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. Like, I mean, the people that I know that are from China or born there, and I'm gonna say it's a very skewed population sample because this is like the subset that like both made it out of China and then like also rose to some level of ability that I got to interface with them.
Yep.
But they're all like pretty scrappy thinkers. Like they're really good at first principles.
Yes.
Like what are we trying to do here? And I appreciate the directness a lot of times that comes from there. I wish I knew more about the language because I understand on an intellectual level that language like prompts the mind or like sets the space for how the mind thinks.
Yes.
I wish I knew more about Chinese language because I would like to understand how they think about the world and problems differently than we do.
Yeah, my wife and I have been on this like huge Chinese dramas recently.
Really?
Yeah, Princess Royal and Pursuit of Jade. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. And then she's read I don't know how many Chinese-based books, like the Harry Potter's, style, but in China, and the history behind it. She's half Korean, so she loves it. And you are absolutely spot on. Like it's amazing where that language actually can really translate over into how you think and how you perceive things. It's also and she's an opera singer, so it's pretty incredible how language actually can translate into different physical attributes of what kind of singers you can get out of it. So,
because like their throat muscles grow differently as they.
Yeah, and like where you spend your life, are you up on this register or down here? So, but yeah, no, I think it's not more of the individuals. We think people are people a lot of times, and you have overlays of culture. People can dream. And there's a lot of strengths in different cultures. I think it's more of like the capital allocators are very aligned with more of the government, endeavors in China.
Got
and
it.
So
it's like a more like directed thing, which allows them to do, along the axes that they select, or the government like does select, allows them to have a very dominant position, for those. I had a conversation recently with a VC firm from London, and I was answering some diligence questions for them, about a company they were looking at.
Yep.
And this is like an early stage investment for a company that I think has a lot of potential in the kind of like maybe like lovable for robotics space, right?
Yeah.
And all of the questions that they were asking me were like centered around how much revenue I think they could make, next year, and like what's kind of like the path to their market entry and like the things. And I was like, I answered their questions, but I was nicely, but I told the person giving the interview, I was like, just, can I give you a piece of feedback? You're asking literally all the wrong questions. Like you're asking a pre-seed going into seed, like startup that's trying to, disrupt like an entire market segment. Like, okay, yeah, but when are you going to make some money? It's like, no, like what you should be asking is like, do these people have, unique insight that's relevant? Like, do they have the technical expertise? Are they connected to the right resources? Is the problem they're trying to solve a problem worth solving?
Yes.
Like, if you ask me any of that, like, you will be doing a lot better. And that was what I understood to be something that was indicative of how, VCs, for example, in the UK, are failing their early stage companies, and it's why there's no crazy robotic startups popping out of London right now. Or if there are, I don't know them. Please show me, prove me wrong. I love it. I would love to be proven wrong. But
well, I feel like that's a little similar to kind of what we talk about a lot, is the kind of old way of thinking and the old way of doing things, which is very like, even like early 2000s Silicon Valley, changing into what small effective teams can do and even outperform teams of hundreds, if not thousands. And it's all just about ingenuity, team cooperation, and just being able to iterate really, really, really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sounds like this is a perfect place to go do it.
That's the dream, right? That's like what we're working towards here. Yeah. So I think what's on our agenda for the next, coming months, let's call it the next quarters. As Jamie mentioned, like, we're launching membership, and what that means for us is we are now inviting people into the space.
Yep.
We've done a couple pilot programs where we've had startups come that, we told them like, hey, we're going to experiment on you.
Yep.
And we did, and now we kind of understand, what makes sense to offer.
Yep.
And so that's like the things that we want more of. Like, we want more startups that are, at anywhere from the two people and a PDF stage to like building their first prototype and, basically like ready to scale. Like that's the early stage that we want to help with our, cohorts.
Yep.
Right. So like coming in here, getting a space, doing that, plugging in, doing the thing. So like I want more of those type of innovators. And then I want people that are, if you're not in that category of like, I want to come here and build the thing, but if you are in the category of I want to participate, be a community member, I want to, offer a service or, insight or mentorship or even a demo, like you're like, hey, I built this crazy thing and I want more people to know about it and like use it. Like that's, any of those things, let's call that like the ecosystem component. Like, so we want those to come in as well. And that's why we tried to, price that in a way that's really accessible because we want as many people to participate in that as possible.
Right on. It's pretty cool stuff you're building here. And I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess for all of our listeners, do they reach out to you and Jamie or?
First thing you do is just go to HICAM.io. Actually, I would recommend two things. I would say go to HICAM.io, just click on the like join our mission and like, fill out the form and start the process and yada, yada. The other thing is coming to the robotics and AI meetup.
Yes. Monthly, right?
Yeah, the monthly. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you come? You've been to that before.
I'm coming.
You're coming.
And soon. I've been invited like 50,000 times.
50,000 times?
At least.
I would suggest the next one is
August, right?
August. We obviously it is every month. I'm just going to tell you so I'm not lying. It is August 26th. The person giving the speech is going to be ya boy.
So if you haven't had enough of Marcus yet, you can come back and get some more.
Come back. We're going to talk about robotics and advanced manufacturing in building sculptures, and we're gonna show some of my portfolio stuff, which like we didn't get into that but you guys should totally come to that, or if you ever want, like I'll show you the things like.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my career gotten to build some really fun and amazing things and use robots in a manufacturing capacity for that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that and show off a bunch of fun projects. So those are two great ways to get connected to the community here, and beyond that, like I don't know, if you're a fire starter, like come start some fires, man.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're excited about our network all coming to Austin. We want Austin to be the robotics capital of the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
my challenge to you guys is propose something like let's come up with a connection surface to work together. And I think the way that you're thinking about these things and creating experiences is a really valuable perspective. And so let's fucking highlight it. Let's do it. Let's do something. I don't know. Is that an event? Is that a talk? Is that plugging into something we're already doing?
Maybe a little bit of column A and a little column B.
Yeah. Propose it, man.
We've got stuff up our sleeves.
Yeah.
We got some tech demos coming this year. So
all right.
I'd love to bring you into that too.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
Fantastic.
And I would even say if you want to do something together, like if you want to do like a content project or something and leverage the resources that we have here, let's talk. I'm 1,000% game.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's some good opportunities coming up here soon.
All right.
Well, in respect of your time, I think probably sign off from the podcast. But yeah, anybody excited about building in Austin? HICAM seems to be the place to do it. I've seen some amazing people already here, across from the robotics, who's done it at very large companies, maybe Amazon, and all the way to artists literally building things in the back lot here. So it's happening here.
The crazies of the crazies, man. Let's go.
Well, thank you so
guys
much.
are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for the time.
Yes. Thank you
Appreciate
both.
it.